Welcome to our next session, Awakening of Faith. Today I would like to talk about personal encountering Jesus Christ, personal listening to Him, and coming to know the true nature of God. You remember the passage, John 4:42. The Samaritans came to the woman and they say, "We do not believe anymore what you have told us. We have listened to Him personal, and we come to know that He truly is the Savior of the world. We come to know the true nature of Jesus Christ, the Savior of the world." And as a matter of fact, they came to the point of believing in God because knowing the true nature of God, you have the foundation to build up intimacy with God. You know Him. And you build intimacy with God. And that is faith. Faith is not the number of practices. Faith is the number, first and foremost, about intimacy with God. There are many experiences and ways you come to know and believe in God. I will share with you 3 of them. The first is you listen to other people. What other people, like parents, your close ones, a friend or a priest or mass media, what other people tell you about God. And that's the way you know and you believe in God. The other way is for you to know and believe in God is your personal encounter with Jesus Christ. You personally come to Him and you listen to Him and you come to know the true nature of God. And the third way is you refuse. You refuse to come to Jesus Christ personally and you refuse to know Him, to know the true nature. So listening to other people, what they tell you about God. The first and the most important people are the parents. They're the first ones who are telling you the story about Jesus Christ, who are telling you the story about faith and God. And the important fact is, if you are having a strong intimacy with your parents, caring and loving relationship with your parents, that is a strong foundation of coming to know, of beginning that journey to know and to believe in Jesus Christ. If you do not have that experience, caring and loving foundation, it's a weak foundation, and I would say it's a very dangerous foundation of knowing God and of believing in God. I remember once I was giving a seminar on HIV/AIDS to young people. It was in Livingstone, Zambia, Africa. One of the sessions, I was talking about the loving Father. And after that talk, a young man came to me and says, "Father, how can I open up? How can I trust? How can I experience the love of the Father who is in heaven? If I never ever experience a caring and loving relationship of my Father, if I never ever experience my Father who comes to me with love and with care, how can I now to open up and to believe and to experience love of the Father who is in heaven?" The other thing which is important when you come to know and to learn about God and believing in God, as your parents tell you the story about Jesus Christ, is the practice. You remember that passage from a Gospel of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 24. Jesus says to people, "If you those who believe, those who listen to my words and practice them," listen and practice them, "they are wise people who build their houses based on the rocky foundation. The rain comes, the wind comes, and they never ever destroy that house of faith. Look at nowadays. How many people they are easily giving up their faith, their relationship with God, because of what other people, what media tell them about God. As a matter of fact, they do not know God, and yet they listen to them and they give up easily the foundation, the true foundation of their life. So practice, listening and practice. If your father, for example, your father or your mother tell you, my child, please pray to God. My child, please go to the church every Sunday. And if you see your father or your mother, or two of them, the best is two of them, kneeling down in prayer every evening, perfect, strong foundation for you to begin the journey of knowing and trusting in Jesus Christ. If you see them going to the church, celebrating the Holy Eucharist together, strong foundation. If you do not see that, it's a weak foundation. If they only talk to you, but they don't practice, I say it's a very dangerous foundation, because there is a confusion in you. Confusion what you heard and what you see. The other people who tell you about God, for example, priest, a sister, catechist, or medium, they can pass only the knowledge about God, a true knowledge or bad knowledge. But because there is no relationship, you and those people, there is no intimacy. So as a matter of fact, there is no strong inspiration for you to set off for a journey to know God and to believe in God. The other way you come to know and you learn about God is your personal encounter and your personal listening to God and coming to know the true nature of God. As a grown-up person, it takes place at the time when you are grown up and when you keep still on exploring, learning, knowing the truth about yourself, about the life around you, about other people, about God. The more you know, the more you are free to make choices. If you do not know, you are not free. You don't have a critical thinking. You just do what other people tell you to do. You just copy them. And that is not the way you choose personally to encounter Jesus Christ. And that is not the way you listen personally to Him and you come to know the true nature of God. This is knowing the true nature of God. You build up intimacy with God. And it's your faith. It's your faith. The other way of knowing God and believing in God, as a matter of fact, you refuse. You refuse to encounter Him personally. You refuse to listen to Him personally. Because other people, they tell you, do not believe in God. Who is God? Come on, just look at this world. So beauty, so much pleasure. And you listen to them. And you follow them. And you refuse to listen personally to God. And you never, ever come to know the true nature of God. Meaning, you do not have the foundation, the way to build up an intimacy with God. So there is no faith. There is no faith. Awakening of faith, the whole process is an ongoing journey every day. It begins with giving up your old patterns of thinking, your old habits, your old practices, and you carry on that journey. You endure to the very end. There are many things, good or bad, come across your way, but you do not give up. You focus. You endure and you focus. You come and encounter Him personally, Jesus Christ, and you listen to Him personally. And that is the way you come to know the true nature of God. And that is the way you build up intimacy with God. And that is your faith. That is your faith. I would like to invite you for our next session. It will be, as a matter of fact, our last reflection on this topic, awakening of faith. I will share with you a personal experience of a young lady, a woman who is sick of HIV/AIDS. And by means of encountering personally, listening personally to Jesus Christ and knowing Him personally, she's willing now to share that experience of faith, experience of this sickness, with the community of faith. Welcome you to our next session, and have a very good and blessed